Well, I don't have a cactus light to light up, but let me tell you, Herbie behind me, this idiot, he's pumped. He's screaming about the postseason, and I might do that a little bit too. The Diamondbacks find a way to win their second game with a thrilling comeback victory thanks to Ketel Marte's heroics in the 9th inning. We're going to talk about it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. And welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. We got our guy Shane on the ones and twos today. He's equally happy because he has vested interest in the Seattle Mariners, but we will be joined by Damon Dog as well to talk about this big victory. The Diamondbacks somehow found a way to not only win this game, but win this series over the Texas Rangers, 2-3. They win this game by a score of 6-4, and they improve to 59-62 on the season. If you were here yesterday, you already heard my rant, and you probably understand that I think this should have been a series sweep for the Diamondbacks, and unfortunately, some late game management there cost them the game in game one. The Diamondbacks, though, use two thrilling 9th-inning home runs from Ketel Marte. It's like deja vu here once again. The Diamondbacks finding a way to win here late against the Texas Rangers. This one, the entire story of this game was the civil war between Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. But the real story is that Ketel Marte comes in again, steals the spotlight. He leads the charge with another 9th-inning home run, second comeback win in a row over the Rangers. The Diamondbacks have won 8 out of their last 12 games since the trade deadline, and now have won 5 out of their last 6. Oh, and by the way, they have a 4-game series coming up with the Rockies. This show, of course, is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up over there. You'll get yourself some bonus bets for following a few easy steps. Over at Game Time, make sure to use our code of PHNX on your first purchase. You'll get $20 off those very, very cheap last-minute ticket purchases. But yes, great to see you guys here. More importantly, great to see Ketel Marte giving the Diamondbacks exactly what they needed there in the 9th-inning, including maybe a pitch around of Geraldo Perdomo to get to Ketel Marte, which ended up proving to be a disaster for the Rangers. But the offense was so quiet in this one. This did not feel like this was going to go in this direction for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They were getting mainstayed once again. They were getting mainstayed in this one by by Merrill Kelly in his first start against his former team. Based on what we know about Merrill Kelly, it would appear the Diamondbacks, they came into this saying that they had a game plan against Merrill Kelly. That didn't really work. Merrill Kelly was really, really good against his former squad today. They claimed that they were trying to exploit something with Merrill's delivery to the plate, but that did not seem to work. But what did work is the Diamondbacks hanging in there, keeping this game close against the Texas Rangers, and then having some Marte magic there in the 9th-inning help this team win another game. All right, so as far as Merrill goes, Merrill did do an excellent job against the offense today. The Diamondbacks didn't get their first run until it was 2 outs in the 4th-inning. As a matter of fact, Ketel Marte was the only base runner up until that point. Merrill had done an excellent job, like I said, probably outdueled Zach Gallen based on the numbers and based on where things were after both guys left the game. But again, Diamondbacks chipped away. Perdomo battled his son, Merrill, as you know, Geraldo Perdomo, proud father of Merrill Kelly. He walks with 2 outs in the 4th-inning, giving the Diamondbacks just their second base runner of the day up to that point. Perdomo then would steal second and go on to score on a Ketel Marte RBI single. That would be the Diamondbacks' first run of the game, and runs were hard to come by today against Merrill and the Texas Rangers pitching staff. But Geraldo did come back to punish his son once again in the 5th inning with 2 outs and an 0-2 count. Once again, his favorite place to be in the world. Perdomo hit a sinker from Kelly for a 400-foot solo home run that would cut into the Rangers' lead. The Rangers had a 3-2 lead at that point, thanks to a big home run there early on from Jake Berger. But it was Perdomo's 13th home run of the season. It kept this game close, and once again, it was a 3-2 game at that point. The Diamondbacks should have added more in the inning because with Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll on, Adrian Del Castillo hit a single, and Sean Larkin made a move that a lot of us did not like, sending Ketel Marte, who was out by a mile at home plate. That would have tied the game up at the time at 3. To be fair, Texas Rangers right fielder Ezekiel Duran made one of the greatest throws. We watched the Diamondbacks. I don't want to attack them and their noodle arms, but as you know, we don't typically see throws like this. Ezekiel Duran made a perfect throw, one of the most perfect throws I've ever seen, or at least one of the most perfect throws an outfielder could make to get to Ketel, like I said, by a mile at home plate. Ketel, there wasn't even a challenge. Ketel just kind of strutted up and got tagged out. The throw itself, though, was art. But what was really art was what the Diamondbacks put together there in the 9th inning. At that point, our guy John Curtis unfortunately gave up an additional run in the bottom of the 8th inning to make this a 4-2 game. And the Diamondbacks, with the way their offense was going, and to be fair, the track record of the Rangers bullpen, it really did seem like this one was going to be a wrap, right? And somehow, some way, you get 2 outs, you get James McCann coming up there. Just give us something, McCann. We just want something from you and your gigantic arms. And he delivers with a solo home run, which once again proved, at least at the time, how important it was that John Curtis allowed that extra run in the bottom of the 8th inning. However, the Diamondbacks would not be done at that point. Blaze Alexander would get hit by a pitch. You would have at bat by Geraldo Perdomo that would appear that they were trying to pitch around him. At least it was 4 terrible pitches there. And then Ketel Marte gets up, he gets challenged, and he answered with a huge home run for this team. And I mean, again, it's hyperbole at this point to say anything at this point saves the Diamondbacks season, but Ketel Marte's 23rd home run of the year may have done just that. I mean, it may have just been enough. I've already said that I feel like the Diamondbacks should have won game 1. They didn't. And I know that might be loser talk saying they should have won it, but I do feel like that mistake there late definitely was a big reason why. The managerial mistake, the way that Torey Lovullo managed the bullpen, what he did with Andrew Hoffman there late in the game, I still feel like was a big reason why the Diamondbacks lost that game. I think if you put in Saul Frank there in the 9th inning to get that save, then the job gets done, right? But anyway, that's in the past, and we can't change that. Good to see Scott Mack changing up his approach a little bit. Now he's on the Fire Larkin now hashtag, so that's a new hashtag. I just wonder if there's anything else to say here. But are you talking about John Curtis? Are you saying it's not John Curtis's fault? Maybe it wasn't John Curtis. I don't know. But Mark in the chat says Padres will pass the Dodgers and D-backs will pass the Giants in the standings shortly. And again, that's exciting. It's fun. Is it anything to get our hopes up for? Probably not. However, I think this is very much exciting, right? The Diamondbacks, after the trade deadline, after they lost the pieces that they've lost, have somehow come together. And I mean, in a lot of these games, I feel like, they still didn't play their best baseball, but they played some pretty good baseball. I don't feel like these opponents have been the strongest. I do feel like they've faced some weak opponents after the trade deadline, which definitely helps to make that record what it is since then. But 8 for 12 since the trade deadline just makes you feel like the Diamondbacks found a way at least to right the ship a little bit and get things headed in the right direction. And like I said, they also have a 4-game series coming up here against Colorado, or as my guy Spencer Smith calls them, the Colorado Rockies, because they have a lot of L's in their name. But they could come out of that series. I'm going to say crazy things later. They could come out of that series and be above 500. And I don't know, Elizabeth might be shushing me to not bring that up, but I still need to bring up Ketel Marte and his amazing performance tonight. Ketel Marte, obviously our king snake for this game. Ketel Marte going 4 for 5 in this game with a home run, 4 RBI. Duh. Did you think it was going to be anybody else? No, absolutely not. Maybe it could have been Geraldo Perdomo. He did have a home run in this game. He did punish his son, Merrill Kelly. He was 1 for 3 with a RBI, 2 walks. But yeah, Ketel Marte, 4 for 5, 4 RBI, 1 home run. Just a great night. Ketel in this series has been incredible. He hit 462 in this 3-game series, and that is with him going 0 for 4 in game 1. 462 batting average, 3 runs scored, 6 RBI, a walk, and 2 dingers for Ketel. He's the king snake of the game, king snake of the series. Like I said, Jerry, he did his thing today. He contributed. Honestly, for a while there, it looked like it was just going to be Geraldo Perdomo and Ketel Marte being the only contributors here offensively. Perdomo was 1 for 3 with an RBI, home run, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. He extends his hitting streak to 10 games. Corbin Carroll, Del Castillo, Jake McCarthy, they all kind of chipped in, but this one was all Jerry and all Ketel. The Diamondbacks didn't play the sharpest defense out there, but luckily the mistakes that they did make didn't come back to bite them. Speaking of Ketel, though, he flashed some incredible defense in this series, specifically today. He had a couple of great snags. He robbed Marcus Semien of a base hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. But that's the defense also was pretty bad at times. Blaze, who we've been praising his defense, who has been having a great time defensively and has really come along. He made a throwing error in the 5th inning that allowed Semien to reach. So I guess that kind of counterbalances Ketel Marte's other great play on Marcus Semien. So whatever, but that it would extend the inning, essentially end Gallen's day at that point. It wasn't like Gallen was probably going to go much longer than that inning, but Zach's only able to go 5 innings, and defensive mistakes like that extend the inning and extend his day definitely don't help. Jock Peterson would then reach on a single, but no runs would score. Ketel Marte booted one himself in the 6th inning as well. That was a fielding error. So the Diamondbacks had 2 errors on the day, but Juan Burgos would get a double play on the very next batter to end the inning. So overall, yeah, the even though the defense at times didn't play perfect, none of those mistakes that they made cost them. But what the big story is here, obviously, like I said, is Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte, absolutely outstanding today. And I know at times that Marte hasn't had the best track record as far as his splits are concerned with runners in scoring position and other contributions like that. But I still watch Marte do what he just did over these last 2 games and am in awe of what that man can do offensively for this team. And honestly, again, it's one of those things where you don't really feel like a lot of players in the starting lineup for the Diamondbacks are very clutch. The 2 guys that you feel comfortable saying that I feel about are Geraldo Perdomo and Ketel Marte. You know Perdomo. It's frog's blood. That's what Frogdomo on my arm is all about here, my little frog tattoo, right? He gives me courage, just like Perdomo has courage in spades when it comes to being up there in those big moments. Ketel Marte lately, at least in this series, really seems to be developing that. I know, there's all sorts of missed time from Marte this season that people for some reason are debating if he should have missed time or not. With the way that the season has gone, though, I understand people wanting a man like this that can do this on any given night in that lineup. This offense looked fairly dead in the water tonight. Again, hats off to Merrill Kelly for what he was able to do. He had his best outing as a Ranger against his former team. It seemed like both sides knew each other fairly well. But like I said, the Diamondbacks definitely are advantage Kelly in this one for sure. I also have to say that the game plan against Merrill Kelly didn't. Why aren't we attacking Merrill Kelly in the 1st inning? I might have brought this up earlier, but why are we not? We know that if Merrill Kelly is going to give up runs, it's going to be in the 1st inning. Have you not paid attention to his entire career as an Arizona Diamondback? That's when you have to attack him. So again, they didn't. They tried to be patient early and make it seem like they were trying to make Merrill Kelly work a lot. That didn't seem to work out well for their offense. But again, this Rangers pitching staff, their bullpen, excellent. Combined, they are one of the best all-around pitching staffs in baseball, and the Diamondbacks found a way to at least get through Merrill Kelly, put up some runs against him, and then also go on to attack this bullpen late and find a way in the top of the 9th-inning to have yet another improbable home run that leads them to a comeback win. So we've talked a lot about the Diamondbacks not being able to hold leads of their own. I can only imagine what Rangers fans are going through right now after seeing their team just lose 2 out of 3 to this Diamondbacks team, especially considering where they're at in the standings with the AL West. I mean, they're still in the battle trying to find their playoff position, and they might have given up entirely too much for Merrill Kelly if the Rangers don't go on to make the postseason. However, for now, this feels good. This feels like the Diamondbacks are heading at least in the right direction, and it's a good time to pad some wins, build some confidence before the schedule gets tough. This Rangers team, it was no pushover. The next team they face might be a little bit of a pushover, but we're going to talk more about this game, and mostly we are going to talk about the pitching matchup between former teammates, former brothers, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, and we're going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, I have talked time and time again about how Pure Edibles is always right for after a Diamondbacks game, whether you are trying to go to sleep late after an exciting comeback victory, or if you just want to elevate your mood and go with the flow from Ketel Marte hitting a 9th-inning home run. Pure Edibles has you covered. They have a wide variety of flavors. They have a wide variety of doses and strains that you can try out. Most importantly, a wide variety of effects that will help you no matter what you're looking for. Pure effects are clearly listed on each tin, so you know exactly what effects to expect. And they were founded right here in Arizona, actually in Flagstaff at Noble Herb Dispensary, the home of Pure Edibles. They are now made here in Phoenix, Arizona, so they're a great local product to try. They offer gummies for sleep support as well as candies with uplifting effects, and they are a full-fledged candy company offering not just gummies, but kicks, which are their version of Starburst, chews, and hard candies. So check them out. Their candies are not covered in sugar like their competitors, but their effects are definitely exactly what you're looking for. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And if you are an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the only place you can show off your team spirit with every purchase you make, every time you pull that card out of your wallet, because they have exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams, including the Arizona Cardinals, Arizona State University, and Northern Arizona University. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that help make lives better. They helped make my life better. This is my home that I'm in, and they helped me get started on my home ownership journey to buy this place, and I am so thankful that they did. You can look to Desert Financial to help achieve all of your financial goals. You can also look to them for checking, savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 today. And we have a saying in the pro wrestling world, you guys, where we kind of chant this dumb chant when we like both pro wrestlers in the ring, where we say, both these guys. And that's exactly what you could say today about Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. Even if you are not pleased with the way Zach Gallen has pitched this year, even if you are not pleased with the fact that the team traded away Merrill Kelly, all very understandable ways to feel. I will say that you can't deny the contributions that these two guys made to this team. Both played for the Arizona Diamondbacks from 2019 through this season up to this point. And both are currently just neck and neck as far as wins are concerned. Zach Gallen is currently fourth with 61 wins. He does not get the decision today. Merrill Kelly, he was third in the franchise history with 62 wins. So again, these guys, they've always been there, always been doing it for this team. It's unfortunate Kelly is no longer part of this team, and it wasn't really fun to see this matchup between brothers today. On the broadcast, they showed Tori Lobolo talking about Zach being edgy before the game, and when they said that, I didn't like that one bit. I was not liking our chances as far as a edgy Zach Gallen going out there and pitching. I don't know why it made me feel that way. It seemed like he was trying to bring his best stuff against his former teammate, but he did struggle early on, which made me once again, very nervous about that edgy feeling. He gives up a leadoff single right away to start the game, or at least to start the bottom half of the first inning to Josh Smith. Smith would then score on an Evan Carter RBI single after he advanced to second on a Marcus Semien walk. That would be the first run of the game scored. And then Gallen would kind of get things back on track. He'd have a 5th pitch, 3rd inning that helped him through. That first inning was a 24 pitch inning. So that having a 5-pitch 3rd helped him extend his outing a little bit further. Otherwise, we don't even know if Zach would have been able to get through 5 innings. He would have more trouble there in the fourth inning after the Diamondbacks tied it up at the top of the inning at 1. Evan Carter would strike again with a leadoff double. Then Gallen would give up a 2-run home run on a 3-2 four-seam fastball to Jake Berger. That gave the Rangers a 3-1 lead. That was Gallen's 24th home run allowed of the year. Did some research on that they brought it up on the broadcast. He's currently tied for 3rd most in the National League, 3rd most home runs allowed. I believe everybody was qualified based on how many games they had pitched, but I could be wrong about that. But I think a big part of it today was Gallen stayed away from his breaking stuff. He just threw 4-seam after 4-seam after 4-seam, several at bats where you didn't even see him throw a breaking pitch during the at bat. And I'm just I don't know. I've come to see enough Ryan Nelson pitch that I believe in Ryan Nelson's ability to go out there and have an outing where he puts up 60% fastball usage. I don't believe in Zach Gallen being able to do that. And typically when you see that, that means he doesn't have a feel for some of his other pitches like his knuckle curve or his changeup. That appeared to be the case today. I think we do have his pitch chart image. He just seemed to kind of be all over the place here with his pitches. 50% of his outing was that 4-seam fastball. He threw the knuckle curve 15% of the outing, changeup 14%, slider 13%, threw the cutter 6% of the time, and then threw the sinker once. But overall, you can see here that it's a very scattered, very scattered pitch chart. A lot of pitches way off the plate, not even close. And also entirely too many 4-seam fastballs that you see down there at the belt buckle or below, and he just can't throw fastballs there. It's not going to be a good time for Zach Gallen if he's throwing 4-seam fastballs there, but still effective against not a great offense with the Texas Rangers. But he went 5 innings pitched. He allowed 5 hits, gave up 3 earned runs. He walked 2, struck out 1. Not going to get a lot of strikeouts from Zach Gallen when he's throwing when his fastball usage is at 50%. But Shane, I don't care. Let's go ahead and fire up the Circle K strikeout meter. I know once again it takes a lot of seawater to do so. That's not even the right number, Shane. That's 2 strikeouts. You're giving him too much credit. He had 1 strikeout, and
I'm so sorry.
He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that second strikeout you gave him, but that's fine.
No,
You're
he
like
doesn't. No, you know what? He does. He does.
He kind of does. Diamondbacks win, so they get that extra strikeout. But with every strikeout, you win at Circle K. Text strike to 31310 to start saving on fuel, food, and drinks after every D-backs home game. And today, at least that 1 strikeout would have gotten you a free Polar Pop. So thank you, Zach Gallen. But he did indeed get outdueled by Merrill Kelly, who dominated his former squad. It's like Merrill Kelly had a vendetta, as if each member of the starting lineup today was responsible for trading him. The only base runners he allowed early on was that single from Ketel Marte in the first inning. Then he sat down 7 in a row before walking Perdomo with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Perdomo would score after stealing second, Marte getting that RBI single. But then Kelly's father, like I said, Geraldo, would strike again with that solo home run in the 5th inning. That would pretty much be all the damage that Merrill Kelly would allow. He had himself just a fine outing, which is exactly what he would have for us. Nothing outrageously over the top, but just a successful day where he went out there, gave the Rangers a quality start, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts from the former mainstay. Well, I guess he's still the mainstay. I don't know. They'll probably call him something else in Texas. I don't know. Also, I do laugh because no, you know what? Killer Rex is going to get mad because I'm going to bring up Gino, but I'm going to bring up Gino anyway. I don't care. I don't think I ever heard like people push the good vibes only thing on Gino one time here. Yet when he went back to Seattle, there was t-shirts being made and all sorts of other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if Merrill keeps the mainstay nickname now that he's in a new place. But bullpen, again, been having a nice series. Unfortunately, our guy John Curtis was the one that did not get the job done entirely well today. He was not our favorite reliever today, but Burgos made a nice play when he was out there on a comebacker from Jake Berger. He gave the Diamondbacks an inning of relief with just one walk. Kyle Backus went out there, gave the Diamondbacks 1 inning of relief himself, struck out 1, no other hits, nothing else allowed. But John Curtis, with 2 outs in the 8th, he gave up a single to Berger, who just kept doing it to this team today. I was so sick of hearing Jake Berger's name. I won't lie. Even though it's a great name. It's a great name. I love hamburgers. Jake Berger today made me sick of burgers. Jake Berger would score on a Josh Jung double to push the Rangers lead to 4-2. And honestly, with the way that the offense was going, it appeared like the additional run Curtis allowed was going to be too much for this team to overcome. He gives the Diamondbacks an inning pitch, 2 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 1 walk, no strikeouts. But again, Ketel Marte, huge moment there. Comes in there, hits that big 3-run blast, and gives the Diamondbacks that lead late. What do we got here? Mark says, well, it's not all of them, but 3 D-backs exes do live in Texas. Some of my exes live in Texas. But yeah, Diamondbacks, again, they won this game and they move on to a 4-game set with the Colorado Rockies in Colorado. They just won on a pretty nice, I believe it was late inning comeback themselves over the St. Louis Cardinals. Interesting to see what happens. Hopefully it's more of the same, and we're going to preview that series here in a minute. But nicely done again by the bullpen, and we're going to take a look at the numbers here shortly. But before we do that, we just had to let you guys know that the Diamondbacks, once again, the final destination situation the Diamondbacks have going on with their pitchers still isn't stopping. Today, they announced that Anthony DeSclafani has been placed on the 15-day injured list with right thumb inflammation. Prior to the game, they recalled Casey Kelly from AAA Reno. Probably going to see... I don't know. I mean, this is just terrible. It's Bryce Jarvis is fine, and I know we're going to see Bryce Jarvis come up, but and Mark says who? That's Casey Kelly. He was here for a minute, and then you might have missed him. But Scott Mack asked, everyone know if Jarvis being called up now? Chances are they won't. They might just wait to do that and carry an extra reliever until they get closer to that outing. As far as the upcoming series with the Rockies, they do not need, or actually they won't need a pitcher until I believe the finale of that series. So, and Elizabeth says going to have Damon Dog pitch. That's coming soon. Don't worry. I've seen him in the office and don't tell Espo this, but when we're there late at night, he's just out there just throwing balls against the wall. He's just ready at all times. He doesn't get ready. Damon stays ready for that call. So chances are that call is going to have to be made. Scott Mack says Jarvis is good for 4 innings. So maybe might even give them a little bit more length than Anthony DeSclafani has been able to give them. But there are a couple of guys. Mark R says soon Pavin is going to need to start. You're going to have Pavin be ready here. You're going to have Ildemaro Vargas returning, as well as Gabriel Moreno. And right now the Diamondbacks can't seem to throw any runners out from behind home plate. So maybe Gabriel Moreno, healthy and rested, will be a welcome sign for this team, but that should be happening soon. All of those guys are currently in Reno. But we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we are going to talk about the numbers from this series, including some crazy starting pitching ERA and relief pitching ERA numbers, as well as preview that upcoming series with the Colorado Rockies. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, I love NASCAR. I'm a huge NASCAR fan now. I've tried to tell you guys I'm new to this, but I love it. And the reason why I love it is because I went out the raceway. Listen to those cars going by. The sound is great. Smell of the rubber, the sound, cars going in circles. It's a great time. Honestly, had an absolute blast. And a big reason why is because I don't believe you get access like you get access as a fan in any other sport the way you do at NASCAR, especially at Phoenix Raceway. You get the best access in sports with a small ticket upgrade. You're in the desert. Diamond Casino infield experience, up close in the garages, meeting the drivers, taking pictures with their cars, taking pictures with them, walking the track, catching the pre-race concert. It's the best value in sports, hands down. And of course, to make things even better, it all goes down at Phoenix Raceway, one of the best tracks that NASCAR has to offer. Much like MLB, after a grueling season that starts in February, the championship comes down to this in October. Don't miss your chance to witness NASCAR Championship Weekend in person, coming to Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets for Sunday's Cup Series Championship race sell out every single year, so move fast to get yours now before they're gone. And here's the kicker: NASCAR's taking Championship Weekend on the road starting in 2026, so this is your last chance to catch it in Phoenix for a while. Tickets, hospitality, and upgrades are still available. Get yours now at the link in our show notes. And of course, you guys know Bet365 helps make games like this more fun to watch. They make any sporting event more fun to watch. In fact, they can help you watch live sporting events. Bet365 live streams 780,000 events each year. They have over 90 million users worldwide, and they pioneered live in-game betting. They offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. And the biggest thing right now is to get down the MLB early payout offer. With the MLB early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes ahead by 5 runs with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections, which will be marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHNX365 when you sign up. That series with the Rockies, great time to start doing that because runs are going to happen in Colorado at Coors Field, and who knows what the outcome is going to be, but there's a good chance at one point the Diamondbacks are going to be up by 5 runs. So check out the Bet365 app. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Just sign up, use that code of PHNX365 when you do, deposit $10 and place a bet of $5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Well, we've called it lots of things, but we used to call it the count, and that's what we're going to call it from now on. So let's take a look at the count, Shane, presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. This one, big series win, close series. Every single game in this series was a close one. Rangers won first game by 1 run. Diamondbacks win game 2 by 1 run. And then here in the finale, they win game 3 by 2 runs. Just all around close series between these two teams. The Diamondbacks outscore the Rangers 15-13. They had more home runs than the Rangers. They had 9 home runs to the Rangers 3. Runners in scoring position, the Diamondbacks were 5 for 25 for a 200 batting average. Rangers 6 for 29. Neither team very good. Diamondbacks in games 1 and game 2, 1 for 10 in game 1, 1 for 11 in game 2. Once again, and that was a game where they had no problem scoring early in game 1 either, and they still just went 1 for 10. Meanwhile, the Rangers 6 for 29 for a 206 batting average. Starting pitching ERA here, not very good for the best pitching staff in all of baseball for the Texas Rangers there. Diamondbacks put up a 4.50 ERA on them. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks had 6.75 ERA. A lot of that was due to those 5 runs allowed by Ryan Nelson in game 1. Rangers, same situation with the Rangers, 5 runs allowed there in game 1 as well. Meanwhile, bullpen, look at this. Look at this. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me. Diamondbacks have a better relief pitching ERA than the Rangers. What? Diamondbacks 1.29 ERA. They allowed 2 earned runs in the series to the Rangers 7 earned runs allowed for their 5.25 ERA. And I don't hate that. I love that, in fact. And it's fun. It's fun to see how baseball can be on any given day and any given series. And again, this is not a Texas Rangers team that was playing the best baseball. They were kind of caught in the same, area where the Diamondbacks were. They were much closer in the wild card race. They were much closer in their divisional race, but you get caught up in this limbo where you really don't know where you stand as a team. And it's so hard. The Diamondbacks are like I said, the Diamondbacks are kind of the opposite Texas Rangers. They have some of the best offense and some of the worst pitching. Meanwhile, the Rangers, some of the worst offense in baseball with arguably one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. So again, maybe you combine these two teams together and they win a World Series, but I don't want to bring up the Diamondbacks and the Rangers and the term World Series in the same sentence together. So we'll just move on. We will move on, in fact, to the drunken orgy of violence that we call the NL West. Let's take a look at where the Diamondbacks are in the standings with this. Of course, there we go. You see the Dodgers and the Padres currently tied for the NL West at 68 and 52. Both teams have a 3.5 game lead in the wild card. One will win and one will be the wild card, most likely. Maybe the Dodgers lose the division and they lose the wild card. That's such a perfect world to live in. Giants, meanwhile, they slip back even further. They're at 59-61. They're 9 games back in the division, 5.5 back in the wild card. Diamondbacks right now stand at 59-62, 10 back in the division, 6.5 back in the wild card. Not even going to do this with the Rockies, but since we are playing them, they are 32-88. They are infinity signed back in the division, and they are infinity signed back in the wild card. I don't want to diss them too hardly because we need all the positive mojo we can get moving into that series. And again, the Rockies, not a great team by any stretch of the imagination, but playing some better baseball. I do believe that we have a look at the Rockies at a glance coming into play today. I don't think this accounted for their win, but yes, the Rockies are 32-88 with a minus 327 run differential. I think it got a little better after they beat the Cardinals, but I think it's like 325 now, maybe. But they come into play 2-8 in their last 10. Their starting pitching ERA is 6.50. Remember what I said last time we faced the Rockies? Their starting pitching ERA is 6.50, the worst in baseball. It's the worst by a wide margin because there is not another team that has a starting pitching ERA at 5. So the next closest team is sub 5, and then there's the Rockies. So I guess this is the old adage of there's the rest of the league, there's 6 feet of crap, and then there's us. Like, that's where the Rockies stand. Relief pitching ERA. What's the point of even talking about this stuff with the Rockies? They're bad. They're bad in every conceivable way. Their OPS is 685. That's 25th in baseball. Their relief pitching ERA is 5.48. It's 29th in baseball. And they have a minus 26 outs above average, which is 29th in baseball. They're bad defensively. They're bad offensively, which doesn't make any sense because they play 81 of their games at Coors Field. And you would think just based on that your OPS would be. That's probably why it's not 30th, quite frankly. Not to attack them as an organization or as individuals. I know these are human beings that I'm talking about, but if you didn't play at Coors, it'd be a 500 OPS and you would be 30th by far. But again, can't take any team for granted. Definitely can't take this Rockies team for granted. We do not know who is going to be in the final game as far as pitchers are concerned now. With Anthony DeSclafani out, at least officially, we have a good idea it's going to be Bryce Jarvis. But let's take a look at the other 3 games in the series with our probable pitching matchup. Diamondbacks here got Eduardo Rodriguez going up in game 1. know a lot of you probably don't love that. He is going up against Bradley Blaylock, who has a 7.89 ERA and is 1-3 this season with 22 strikeouts for the Rockies. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound in game 2 going up against Tanner Gordon. Brandon Pfaadt is seeking his 13th victory of the year. He's also trying to get that ERA below 5.00. Currently at 5.03 with 104 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Tanner Gordon, another pitcher that has not pitched very long this season for the Rockies, he is 2-5 with an 8.37 ERA, 22 strikeouts. Ryan Nelson, last but not least, he is 6-3 with a 3.46 ERA. He has 95 strikeouts. Chase Dollander, 2-9 this season for the Rockies, 6.35 ERA, 57 strikeouts. So yeah, that's who the Diamondbacks have coming up. Now, I know I don't want to get crazy, especially just to pull the curtain back a little bit. Damon just got here, and I know he's very busy, and I know he's an excitable guy. So the last thing he needs is me firing him up anymore. But Damon, the Diamondbacks could be above 500 after their series with the Rockies. What crazy things am I going to say on this podcast if the Diamondbacks are somehow above 500 after this series with the Rockies?
Derek, what crazy things are we going to say about the Diamondbacks if they sweep the Rockies series? I'm in this with you. We're back. I'm fired up. Ketel,
Yeah.
come on, carry me, baby.
Man. I mean, Ketel, like, again, we know Ketel can do this, but it's been a frustrating season with Ketel a little bit. So to see him kind of doing this now when the Diamondbacks need it more than ever, like they need a hero. They need somebody to step up and be this guy. And it feels like at times it's just 8 guys looking at Jerry going, can you get it done? And Jerry's like, yeah, I can. I'll do it all myself. Don't you guys worry. Killer Rex is here to attack you, by the way.
I have another podcast that I do on this company, brother. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but I appreciate the shots at our work ethic constantly. But Derek, fired up, man. Fired up. What a win. What a series win. Should have been a sweep. Yeah. Imagine if we were sitting here talking about a sweep right now. That'd be incredible.
Right. Should have been. But moving beyond this, right? Obviously, the Colorado Rockies series is whatever, right? There's a good chance the Diamondbacks are going to win games there, and there's a good chance that they're going to move closer. The real thing to get excited or not excited about, the real thing to bring you back to reality is to look at the schedule beyond that. And if you do, you'll see that it's fun, but then it's not fun anymore. It gets very real very fast against a lot of teams that are all in the playoffs, leading their division. One of the teams in our own division, it's like Dodgers, Giants, and then they end with the Padres. I think their last 6 games are Dodgers and the Padres. So there are a lot of games left against division opponents. If the Dodgers go out there and continue to be the bums that they're being right now, that's wonderful for this team. The Diamondbacks need something like that, I feel like, to happen in order to tip the scales in their favor of perhaps maybe actually trying to, make a postseason run. And honestly, you know what? I know that we had this conversation a little bit yesterday. And I know that I deep down in my heart believe that, much like in 2023, I believed if they make the playoffs, they're not going to do much. So who cares? And if they can make the playoffs, if they can at least make this season fun for all of us to watch, I think that's what any baseball fan would want. For now, they are. Watching Ketel Marte lead this team to 2 comeback victories 2 nights in a row, that's a lot of fun. Maybe getting to watch them go out there and beat up on the Colorado Rockies some, gain some confidence and get their offense on a roll before facing those tough teams, that could be a lot of fun too. So we'll see what happens, and we will definitely hope for the best here when it comes to what happens beyond the Rocky series. But first, the Diamondbacks need to take care of business there. So that Rocky series, huge for this Diamondbacks team. If they are able to go in there and win these games, like I said, the Diamondbacks could come out on the other end somehow, some way, back to us sending little Geraldo Perdomo up the mountain. Maybe in honor of what Ketel's doing, maybe we'll replace Perdomo and put Ketel back on it. I don't know. We'll see. But what I am looking forward to is seeing all of you guys out there at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass on August 28th for our PHNX Cardinals residency. And I wish this was like a month-long residency, or how, like, I saw when I was in Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny was doing a bunch of concerts and he was like taking over San Juan for like the next 2 months. Maybe we need the PHNX Cardinals doing that. Maybe we could get them to just take over the upper deck kitchen and bar out there at Gila River for the entire football season, because that would be fun. But for the time being, we have one special night that we want you guys to join us for. Come on out. Johnny, Bo, and the PHNX Cardinals crew will be out there. The entire PHNX Fantasy Football League will be out there. We will be doing our draft that night. So come watch it. If you can't be there in person, I believe we'll be streaming the draft, so make sure to catch that. But if you can come on out. It's a great night with NFL diehards. The residency night on August 8th, the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar. The Cardinals Live podcast starts at 4:30 p.m., followed by the NFL season preview at 6 p.m., and then our PHNX staff fantasy football draft will start at 9. All diehards who attend will receive a free drink ticket for the event, so make sure to come out. We're going to have an absolute blast out there. Before we get out of here, I did want to talk about MLB.com dropping their farm system rankings. And again, this is a situation where the Diamondbacks had called up a lot of their guys. Obviously, we know that the farm system is a bit depleted due to injuries, and a big part of what Mike Hazen was attempting to do at the trade deadline was to rebuild this farm system for not only 2026, but far beyond that. And I think most people, even those that feel like the Diamondbacks, selling was a mistake, can still be somewhat satisfied with the return and the improvements to the farm system. And again, you don't even know if the Diamondbacks would be playing this level of baseball if those guys were here. Chances are they would, but we never know that, right? Maybe giving these young players like Blaze Alexander and Adrian Del Castillo an opportunity to right now is part of the reason why they're on a roll. I still feel like a lot of it is also because the Diamondbacks are playing weaker opponents. But meanwhile, the MLB.com dropped their midseason farm system rankings. They do a preseason one and then they update it in the midseason. And lo and behold, surprise, the Dodgers have the number 1 ranked farm system in Major League Baseball. That is something that always kind of makes me sick, by the way. RA says, surprise to no one that Dodgers are ranked first. Let's be honest. I mean, it is to the surprise of no one. And of course, I don't, I do always have, I guess I should always preface these kind of things with there's just guys, there's just people who basically make their job to be reporting on prospects that rank these players and rank these systems. It's very knowledgeable minds in baseball that get together and try to figure these things out, but it's far from perfect. And there's no real way to know what a prospect's worth is as a major leaguer. Some of the top prospects that are ranked never make it to Major League Baseball. And some of the guys that were completely disregarded and not even considered end up making it. So the Diamondbacks, though, their farm system was ranked in this MLB.com article 16th in Major League Baseball, which, to be honest, was a pretty decent jump from the preseason rankings. The Diamondbacks move up 6 spots from their preseason ranking, where they were 22nd in Major League Baseball to start the season. Things were much more positive there. We weren't really worried about the farm system as much as we were worried about winning those chips right now, son. And that didn't work out for us, did it? But again, that's some pretty impressive, I guess, a pretty impressive accomplishment there from Mike Hazen. The Diamondbacks were one of the biggest improvements as far as their preseason ranking to where they are currently at in the middle of the year. 2020 or 2024, they were ranked at the beginning of the season or in the midseason at 21st in Major League Baseball. Back in 2023, we were very good. We were ranked 12th. That was their midseason rank in 2023. So again, the Diamondbacks went very high. Their farm system got depleted, and now they have improved things drastically. A lot of this is dictated by how many top 100 prospects the Diamondbacks have. And to be honest, the Diamondbacks don't have very many top 100 prospects. When you think about it, you might logically believe okay, every team should have 3 or 4. Well, the Diamondbacks have 2. They have Jordan Lawler, currently ranked number 23 in the top 100 prospects for all of MLB. And our guy, Waldy, a.k.a. Ryan Waldschmidt, he is ranked 69th. Nice. In all of Major League Baseball for prospects. So really what it comes down to for the Diamondbacks is that they lack top tier talent. They lack what MLB pipeline and analysts consider to be top tier talent. We all know the disappointment that's been Jordan Lawler, not only when he was called up to play at a major league level, but we also know that feels like Lawler can never really stay healthy, can never be consistently on the field over the course of a season. And you would love to really see that. He hasn't missed a tremendous amount of time, but again, his injuries piling up have taken some of the allure off of Jordan Lawler. Not to mention the fact that right now, as far as prospects go, Blaze Alexander has been given the chance at an opportunity for the time being over there at third base, and he has been excellent. He has been excellent offensively. He made that error today, but he's really made some big leaps forward as far as defense goes. And I think that, Jordan Lawler is going to have a battle on his hands trying to win playing time at a major league level over there at third base. So I think that that's another problem too for me as far as these rankings are concerned. I don't know if Jordan Lawler really deserves to be considered the number 23 overall prospect in baseball. I don't believe that. However, what the Diamondbacks did as far as improving their farm system was adding the other pieces to it. Ryan Waldschmidt, by the way, incredible. He's just been awesome. He's been an awesome player. He's put up some amazing numbers. You hear nothing but rave reviews about Ryan Waldschmidt, and he is one of the guys that's kind of cruising through the Diamondbacks farm system right now as far as that goes. But as we know, that the trades that they made at the trade deadline have done a lot to improve the Diamondbacks farm system and where MLB considers them to currently be at. The Diamondbacks especially got stronger with their pitching arms, and that was the focus of Mike Hazen and the front office. Cole Drake, number 8 in the Diamondback system. Patrick Forbes, number 10. Mitch Bratt, number 11. Dave Hageman, number 17. Dean Livingston, number 18. Brian Curley, number 19. And Ashton Izzy at number 20. All joined the top 20 for the Diamondbacks either via a draft or via a deal in recent weeks. They also drafted shortstop Kason Cunningham, which is could be an absolute top 100 prospect for this team. And these are all things that are very exciting about the future. The biggest thing is after the Diamondbacks shortcomings with their pitching staff, especially when you look at the Diamondbacks top 30 prospect ranking, there just wasn't a lot of arms on there. We've had the question before on Mailbag Monday and at other times where people want to know who is kind of the next man up. And as far as after Bryce Jarvis, there's kind of a gap. I know Dylan Ray's name might come up. I know if he's healthy, Yumin Lin might be an option, but there's not a lot of time in the season at this point. And if the Diamondbacks end up having to turn to a Dylan Ray or Yumin Lin, I mean, if they do that, I promise I won't even talk about the postseason anymore. I'll talk about it in regards to other teams making the postseason. I won't talk about it in regards to the Arizona Diamondbacks making the postseason, because with how tough the schedule gets beyond the Rockies, beyond the Rockies series, should the Diamondbacks need to turn to someone else beyond just Bryce Jarvis, I do think that it's going to be a pretty wide gap. Scott Mack says, why don't we call up Garcia? I believe you're meaning Brandon Garcia. And it's because, Brandon Garcia is probably going to get a chance to pitch again at a major league level. He probably just won't get to start. So really what we're talking about is who the Diamondbacks have as a starting pitcher of the future, who they have for depth, who they have just in general right now. So things aren't great depth-wise for this team. That's the reason why that was such a priority for Mike Hazen. We've talked about this time and time again, but again, this is all the reason why the Diamondbacks were able to move up 6 spots from their preseason ranking to where they're currently at. And, again, the Diamondbacks might have to continue to build this way. There might be future trades in 2026 and beyond if things don't go the way we want them to, that continue to improve the farm system, because the other major league team thing is not really working out. But I do have good news in regards to this. I don't know if many of you remember, but we had a short-lived prospect series brought to you by our guy Jesse Friedman called the Diamond Mind, which we are going to be bringing you again. We are putting together some breakdown videos of these prospects. Our first pair that's coming is going to be Cole Drake and Mitch Bratt. Some very, very interesting stuff from both of those guys. I think we talked about it briefly, but Mitch Bratt has a fun history with Chase Field in the fact that when he was 19 years old, started for the Canadian team in the WBC against the United States team. So a lot of fun stuff there to come. So I hope you guys enjoy enjoy the Diamond Mine coming back. Peace of Yoshi says, as long as Jesse isn't doing post games anymore, we are strategically planning Jesse's appearances on the show so that he can't hurt this baseball team. Jesse's struggling with that over at Snakes territory as well. So again, there's a lot of things to blame. Injuries, Torey Lavallo, maybe some of the pitching coach decisions and third base coach decisions, but also very much Jesse Friedman's appearances on any show covering this team definitely don't help. But love him. Going to have him on. I think he's going to come on tomorrow. So we'll see if he curses this team. But Diamondbacks right now riding high off of this Ketel Marte victory, as they should, or as the Ketel Marte home run as they should. This guy definitely keeps doing it for this team. And again, I don't know how much confidence they can build by beating a Rockies team. I think the exact phrase I used on Monday was, I have certain rules in life. One of those, never eat paella in Chicago with Jacob Franklin. Another one of those is definitely never get excited about your team beating the Colorado Rockies in any way, shape, or form, unless it's 2007, around that time, 2008. That mattered. Now doesn't matter. So we won't get too excited. But if they do happen to build on these wins and happen to get their record to be above 500, then who's to say no? Don't let the snakes get hot. We've tried to warn you. Don't let the snakes get hot, because if you do, you might come to regret it. Absolutely. But today was like I touched on this briefly, by the way. I do want to say that, like, I did not enjoy seeing the Diamondbacks face off against Merrill Kelly. I know this was fun. I know we were kind of like joking with it on the broadcast. I was in a mood to joke about it. And then when I saw it, it wasn't funny anymore, especially with the way that Merrill Kelly handled us today. But I did like how they said before the game, they asked Geraldo Perdomo like to give his thoughts on facing Merrill Kelly, and he said he will after the game. And I think that that's probably the most apropos way to handle this, right? There's a lot of emotions attached to facing someone like Merrill Kelly. You know, I think this goes far beyond just trying to, beat your friend, right? To beat your former teammate. I think that, like, the Diamondbacks had to stand on the diamond today and look across into the other dugout and see one of their best pitchers that used to be part of their starting lineup, now starting for another team. Still didn't like that. Like, if you can't beat them, join them line, but I'm going to let it slide. However, again, it was understandable that they weren't jovial to be facing off against Merrill Kelly. Not only is he a very good pitcher, but all of this is a lot, especially considering how long Merrill Kelly was a part of this franchise and what he did for this team. So tip of the cap to Merrill for going out there and winning this battle, but the Diamondbacks end up winning the war. They win this game by a score of 6-4, and they move on, like I said, to perhaps improve if they can string together. I'm not going to say it, but if they can string together some wins here, they might get themselves above 500. So we are going to be back tomorrow. Actually, I know this is a little bit of a weird schedule, especially with the Thursday game and no game off. But we will be back tomorrow with another post-game show. We are moving on Friday, by the way, which apparently people like Max bring air fryers to the office when we're in the middle of moving. He didn't take his stuff away. He brought more stuff to the office while we're in the middle of the move. I claimed the air fryer. I brought it to my house. It looks very nice with my appliances. And now people want me to bring the air fryer back to the office? That time has come and gone. So we have a lot to deal with around PHNX HQ, but hopefully we'll get this all settled over the weekend. And by Monday, we will be bringing you some wonderful shows from our brand new studios there in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. So until then, we appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. Like I said, join us tomorrow for another post-game show. Until then, follow us on Twitter. I'm at cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog with a DAWG at the end. We are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_DBacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And thank you guys again so much for stopping by. Scotty Mac, there's Scott Mac. I'm just going to call you Scotty Mac from now on, Scott. Scott Mac says Guardians will be tough. And that's just the beginning, right? The Guardians are just the beginning of it. So there's a lot of tough competition coming up for the Diamondbacks right around the corner. They got to take care of business against the Rockies, and then we'll start talking about some other stuff. Emily once again reminds me to not forget about the D-backs jersey list. And I'm handling this terribly, Emily. So I will make sure to get on that as soon as I have some free time, which I never do. But again, appreciate you guys so much. Killer Rex asks if he can be a Damon dog. No, he cannot. I'm sorry that we're full. We have all the Damon dogs we need right now, Killer X. We'll add you to the list, and then we'll go around. We review the list of people we're going to add, and then it's once a year, though. It's only in January, so we'll come back around to it January 2026. But do appreciate you asking. Do appreciate you being here. Thank all of you guys for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Hope you guys enjoy this win and enjoy Ketel Marte being part of your baseball team, because We are lucky to have him. Ina says, remember the cactus tomorrow, Derek. I will. I'll go steal the cactus light from the office, just like I stole the air fryer. So we'll make that happen. But again, I appreciate you guys' time so much. Thank you for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow on another post-game show. Until then, behave yourselves, Killer X. Enjoy your evening. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you get to watch Ketel Marte hit a comeback home run in the 9th inning every single night.
We all silly like the mayor.